Speaking of sex,
Speaking about weird sex stuff, we did.
well, hang on. I don't think we should list it as weird sex stuff.
It's not a weird sex thing.
Good. We read Swing Volume 1, written by Matt Hawkins and Jenny Chung. This is why I asked if she was Chinese, by the way, because it would have tied into the whole Crazy Rich Asians thing. And that whole, Asian representation suddenly just blowing up.
Got you. Okay.
Art by Linda Sejic, who is the wife of Stepyan Sejic. Check this out. For tying things in, guess where they live?
Where do they live?
Croatia.
Oh my goodness!
It's all connected.
This whole episode is like our reveal episode where you find out the whole show has been leading to this one point.
Yeah, how disappointing. This is set in the same universe as Sunstone, in as much as basically you see Alan at the beginning when they're moving in.
Yeah.
And one of the characters plays the same video game as
which is a thing. All the characters in
this
Sunstone
universe.
And apparently in the two other graphic novels, or one other at the moment.
Yeah.
He's one of the other characters that plays this online game that they all play together,
which is essentially World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
But so it's set in the Sunstone universe, but it's not massively impacted by the events of anything that's happening in Sunstone.
Yeah, they're not tied together in a story way.
Yeah.
Just in a this is all happening in the same.
Yeah, it's thematically similar in that it's exploring a more taboo's probably the wrong word, but less known maybe, or
I mean, so swinging does have a taboo about it, but
not as.
But then I guess so does BDSM.
Right?
It's the same sort of thing where there are people that would judge this, which is and these both listeners. This is going to be all spoiler filled, about Swing. So if you want to go read it, which I'd recommend, go do it. But if not, just carry on listening.
I would say, if you haven't read Sunstone and you got the choice of reading either Swing or Sunstone, go for Sunstone.
Yeah. But that's one of the best graphic novels ever.
Yes.
Yeah. So Swing does the same sort of, like Liam was saying, does the same sort of thing as Sunstone, where it's looking at this lifestyle, which is specifically called the lifestyle if you're part of the Swing community, apparently. Yeah. So it's another topic where me and Liam, as far as I'm aware, haven't got experience with this.
No.
Same with the BDSM from Sunstone.
Yeah.
So we're coming at it from a completely uneducated place.
I think the biggest difference though is Swinging I can kind of get my head around without having to read a comic about it, whereas with BDSM I found that as much as it was a good entertaining read on the relationships, there was a level of education to it of stuff that I didn't know about BDSM. Whereas with Swinging, I feel like it's slightly more represented in media and stuff, not to a great degree, but I'm more familiar with some of the terms that were used and the concepts behind it, and just the general idea of what Swinging is.
Yeah. Okay. So as someone that is less vanilla than you, in terms of their whatever, I'm less vanilla than Liam. So I think I've got pretty much the same sort of knowledge about both of them. I find it harder to get my head around Swinging in terms of the actual act itself.
Okay.
Because of the way I am.
Yeah.
You're Swinging to me is something very alien. Yeah. It's very alien to me.
You're is it like a penguin or something that mates for life?
Yeah. I think so. Yeah, I'm like a penguin, Liam. Thanks.
Yeah.
But so for me, BDSM, I can understand the appeal. Whereas
Swinging...
but
I think if I remember rightly from our discussion on BDSM, you could never do it because you would not like to inflict pain or have pain inflicted on you.
But you also, it's not 100% about a pain thing.
Yeah, it's more about
dominance and submissives, Liam.
Yeah, exactly. Control and also pleasure.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not pain, it is what's the word? Denying pleasure.
Yeah.
Whereas Swinging is basically if you're in a relationship, the way that it's kind of almost described in the book to an extent is it's okay cheating sort of, which is not the right way of describing it, but it's the way it's sort of portrayed at one point by one of the characters.
Yeah. So basically in Swing we're following these two characters who are in a relationship. The first chapter of the comic shows how they met at college. He's a teaching assistant sort of thing.
Yes.
She's one of the students. They meet, talk about some love poetry, and have a very hot and steamy relationship.
Yeah.
You like get a very quick, but so it's a quick like just cut and jumping story showing their like life together, like him meeting her
Yeah.
overbearing parents and
Yeah.
her like convincing her mum to accept him because she loves him.
Yeah.
Then they have a kid.
Yeah.
And then you sort of jump to the actual story where they are both struggling with their relationship. She doesn't want sex as much.
Yeah.
Or they both are struggling to find time to have sex with each other.
Yeah.
You see them both sort of fantasizing about the idea of cheating, but they love each other.
Yeah.
So they're like, I would never cheat because I love him or her too much.
Yeah. But they are
But I'm
curious
still-
about the idea of having sex with other people.
Yeah. So Rachel convinces him to come with her to a swing club, a
Yeah.
swinging club.
Yeah.
He doesn't super enjoy it.
No.
She does some sexy things to him.
Yeah.
Someone else tries to join in. He gets very freaked out,
Yeah.
and they leave.
Yeah. And then they don't discuss it for like a week.
Yeah, and then this first graphic novel ends with her inviting her friend round,
Yeah.
and them having a threesome.
This is my issue that I had with it.
Go on.
So, and I'm going to compare it to Sunstone because I just feel like it's fair
It's
to.
hard not to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sunstone had this really nice like introduction to this community, like this BDSM community, where you had someone that was interested in it but very inexperienced, meeting someone that had experience, and that person kind of like showing them the way, and then through this experience they developed feelings for each other, right?
Yeah.
And that just really worked well. With Swing, my impression of reading it is, yeah, they're both unhappy, but from volume 1, she is the one that is really pushing for the swinging stuff. He seems quite resistant to it, and even like her like having a threesome, essentially it's because someone that worked at the swing club said if he's not on board with the idea, get him a couple of threesomes and he'll come around, which to me just seems really manipulative.
Right, so it does read as manipulative. My takeaway was less that he didn't... I don't think it's that he doesn't want to do it. I think he's struggling with the idea of it.
Yeah, but so
And I think...
the issue I'm having is I just feel like she's moving too fast for where he's at.
Yeah.
And it just, I don't know, it reads weird. It doesn't read like a healthy relationship exploring swinging, which there's an afterword where the writer is basically saying, like, here's the pros and cons of swinging. And one of the big things that is constantly repeated, swinging doesn't help you fix broken relationships.
Yeah, but I don't think their relationship is meant to be broken. I do admit,
No, it's not
and I
broken.
agree with you, that the way this volume reads does struggle to portray their relationship. I don't know. I didn't read it and go, these two people are just madly in love with each other.
Exactly.
Like, there's scenes where you're like, oh, okay, I get it. These two are in love.
Like, there's a really good scene, right, where they've not been able to make time with each other due to like work commitments, and they're on like slightly different working schedules. He's kind of responsible for looking after the kids a lot, it seems like. And there's a scene where he's having his downtime, which is playing this like World of Warcraft type game. He's in the middle of a raid. For anyone that isn't aware, a game like World of Warcraft where you're playing that sort of thing, there are other actual people relying on you to essentially fulfill a role, and if you don't, everyone's going to die and lose out on the game, and that could mean like potentially hours and hours of effort lost. She just comes in and is like, oh, I'm a bit randy, I'm going to wear this nice thing and distract him from his game, and he obviously is just like, what the fuck, I'm in the middle of something, and she gets really pissy about it. And that's when I was just like, I totally see like his perspective a lot better than hers. I don't get why she's getting so pissy.
Right, well, the reason she's getting so pissy, the whole thing with their relationship is, I think it's the idea of these two people wanting the same thing and not being able to understand each other. Because she wants to spend time with him, but she can't because she's tired after work, whatever.
Yeah,
She's got reasons that she doesn't want to have sex with him at that specific time.
Yeah.
And he wants it. So her logic of it is, well, I know I struggle to find time to have sex with you. You seem to want it a lot. Let's have sex. I'm ready.
Yeah, but
He's
it's
then-
not being very considerate of him.
No, but then he's also not considerate of her because he's having the same issue in reverse, where he wants sex and she doesn't want to give it to him.
Yeah,
So I think
but-
that's where you're struggling, Liam. Is you're
I don't think it shows him getting pissy at her at any point for not having sex. Do you know what I mean? That's the issue I have, because she gets very defensive and is like, "Oh, you would rather play this game than spend time with me." It's like it's not about that. It's about kind of respecting the other person enough to be like, they're currently doing
Yeah, but
their
I
thing.
think you're being very selective in that you're only applying your negativity to her.
But that's because I don't think you see, like I said, you don't see him reacting in the same way to stuff that she's doing.
Yeah, but in that situation where he's playing the game,
Yeah,
he doesn't exactly go like, there's not, it doesn't, like, here's the thing, Liv, if someone does that to you and is like, I want to have sex, look, I'm all dressed up, you don't tell, like, because he's very dismissive of it. It's not that he's like, oh yeah, I'm right in the middle of this thing, I need to do this. He's very much like, no, I'm busy.
yeah,
So I think you're being very defensive of the guy, understandably, because you are a man and you also struggle to align yourself with people that you aren't like.
yeah.
So the video gamer man, you're
Yeah,
very
but no,
much I get him.
I kind of think that it doesn't do a good enough job of showing you her perspective, like, because she just the way I'm reading her character as how she's presented in the book is she's almost like putting her career and stuff before her family.
I don't think she is.
It's just the way it's coming across.
Okay, well, I definitely didn't get that reading of it.
Okay.
I don't think it's ahead of her family. I think that out of all the things in her life, the relationship with him,
Yeah.
I think both of them are doing that because they're with the kids and stuff. They're both like clearly love their kids,
Yeah.
and that's like a priority to them.
Yeah.
Then she's got to go and work and make money. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't get that same reading. I do admit though that I don't think I read it as like her manipulating him into like, because in the real world, Liam, like if two of you end up swinging,
Yeah.
and one of you doesn't like it, I feel like that's just it's going to end, right?
Yeah. But it doesn't here.
So I've got a feeling this book isn't going to take it that way.
No, like I
Because I mean, this story would be very short if Volume 2 was just him being like, you know what, I don't
Yeah,
want to swing,
like-
and also I've realised I don't love you.
I think the direction it is going to go in is he's going to get on board, but at the moment it just seems to me, reading it, I'm a bit uncomfortable with how forcefully she's pushing the issue. At the
I don't think
moment.
she's being forceful.
She literally, without telling him, invited another girl over, got them both like on the bed in sexy underwear, and was just like, surprise, time for a threesome.
Yeah, and that's not force.
It's forcing the
It's-
issue.
Yeah, but then neither of them.
Because
Press the issue at any
like
other
with
point.
BDSM, right? The whole point is it's meant to be about communication.
Yeah, that I think what you're saying are points that this is going to deal with because the whole point
but
of
it
this.
hasn't dealt with it yet.
No, but it's Volume 1.
Yeah.
It's like complaining that a superhero didn't defeat the big bad in Volume 1 of a story. Like, yeah, obviously, because this is setting us up.
Yeah, it's
to have
just
that.
at the moment,
because I think
it's just hard to get on board with their relationship because it doesn't seem like a particularly healthy relationship at this point.
I don't think it's an unhealthy relationship. I think it's. I don't think it's the best relationship because they aren't talking about stuff.
Yeah,
I
they
think
need
that's
to communicate
what they're
better.
putting across. Yeah, but this is all stuff that the story's going to do, Liam.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I feel like her being more forceful about it is a thing that is going to be dealt with.
Yeah, but I don't particularly like either of the characters at this point. I think they're okay.
I'm not as attached to them as I was to the characters in Sunstone.
Yeah, and even like by the end of Volume 1 of Sunstone, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm really into these characters. Whereas here, I'm just a bit like, I don't know. To me, at the moment, swinging doesn't seem like what this book should be about.
But that's, I think from what the guy says in the afterword,
Yeah.
the idea, like, so this is my issue with it. Like when I was saying at the beginning, the fact that I can understand BDSM, but I can't as much get my head around swinging. To me, the idea of like finding pleasure in you and your partner having sex with a different person in the same room or whatever,
Yeah.
I can't understand that because I know how jealous I would be, which is something he talks about in the thing. I would not be able to do it.
Yeah, but
Right.
that just means it wouldn't be right for you if you didn't
Yeah,
necessarily.
no. So what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Let me finish my point.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is because I don't understand that, I want to read more because I want to like how Sunstone gives you a view on BDSM and it's like here's the nitty gritty, like this is why these relationships get built and how it all ends up working and that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what the message about the swinging community is because I do believe I don't like if someone told me they were swinging, I wouldn't be like, ugh, how can you? Because I don't understand polyamorous relationships,
Yeah.
but I think if people
So-
are into polyamory, I'm totally on board with it. I think it's cool.
There's a word that he uses in the afterword, which is compersion, which is where you enjoy watching your partner experience pleasure and joy.
Yeah.
And he kind of calls that out. He said, like, it can be arousing for some. Successful swinging couples aren't sociopathic. They do experience emotion in these situations. It's just the opposite of what most people would experience.
Yeah,
which
because
is
most people would feel jealous. Whereas
exactly.
people that are into that would be like, oh, it's awesome, my partner's...
And I think another
having
thing
a
they
pleasurable
say
experience.
is it's about disassociating sex and love,
Yeah,
essentially, because it is like, oh, I love this person, but they're having sex with other people doesn't mean they love me any differently or any less. It's just it's like a hobby, essentially.
yeah, that's how it's sort of described in that afterword. It's
Yeah.
interesting. The idea of it is interesting. It's just something that I know I couldn't do.
Yeah, but I think that is the more common response as well.
Yeah, yeah.
One thing that did impress me, which I don't think you get in Sunstone, but I could be wrong, there's some erect penises in this.
Do you see... I'm trying to remember if you see any erect penises in the volume where you look back at the past.
Yeah, there might be, but I just feel like it's more prominent in this then, at least.
I mean, like Sunstone is dealing with
A
effectively
lesbian
relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
So
it
it would be a little bit weird if they were chucking erect penises all over the place.
It's not a criticism against Sunstone. It's just we've discussed in the past how rarely you see erect penises in media. So
Yeah,
I think it's a plus that they don't necessarily like try and like draw around it. Essentially,
yeah.
I'm not on board with the characters yet. It might happen with time, but at the moment, I'm just a bit like. I think at this point it could go in two very different ways. Where they kind of the way that it most likely is going to go if we're using like Sunstone as a template, where swinging is going to bring them closer together and they're going to find this renewed love for each other. But equally, where it ends in Volume 1, it could just as believably go down a completely different path where this like destroys their relationship, I feel.
Yeah.
Is that a good thing to have it like at such a...
Yeah, I don't know. I think it can be in terms of storytelling.
Yeah.
I think something that I struggle with in stories is when the ending is so predictable.
Yeah,
so the fact
exactly.
that you're having the doubt of like, well, it could go either way is probably a good thing.
Probably.
I do agree that I've not got into the characters as much as I did in Sunstone.
Yeah, like I said, even Dan, who I can kind of like see from his perspective maybe better than Kathy's, I still don't think he's a particularly like... He's not kind of I'm rooting for necessarily.
No, I think what it does is towards the beginning it tries to establish their characters.
Yeah.
And does a fairly good job. I find that the characters I see in the beginning bit where you're looking at their past,
Yeah.
I'm more attached to.
Yes. They're like
But then
younger
I guess-
and more innocent and kind of
But
like
is
falling
that
in
part
love
of
for the
it?
first time.
Is it meant to be showing us that, like, they've got older and got kids now, so yeah, their lives aren't as interesting, and that's sort of the
They're more
point.
complicated.
I don't know. I think it could be that, same way as you. I think it can go two ways, but not necessarily in a story way. I think I could read however many volumes of this there are and be like, wow, that first volume is so good because it's done exactly what it should have done, which is show me exactly what they're feeling like with the unattachment to them.
Yeah.
Or I think it could go for 5 volumes and I could look back at this one and be like, volume 1's the weakest.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, I'm going to read more because I really like
Yeah, I
what
think
these books are
2019
doing.
it said is the next one that's coming out.
Yeah.
I like this like universe that apparently they wanted to initially label as the Perverse.
Yes, that's very good.
That was good. I also think is the afterword I thought was really interesting, where he sort of writes a little bit about the experience of writing this. I thought it was quite interesting that he said he essentially wrote a draft of how to open this like several times, and like the first one he sent to the artist.
The Sagix.
Yeah, and they just sent it back being like, this ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
And I think you kind of, having read that and now looking back at the volume, I kind of can see someone struggling to like get to grips with the characters, because like you said, the opening does work really well, but once you've progressed a bit more into the relationship and they're married with kids, I don't think we're seeing a good enough like side of their characters to be able to get on board with them.
Yeah. What I'm hoping and what I genuinely believe it's going to be like is it's going to be one of those kind of stories where it's hard to set up the beginning, but now that we're past that point, or I feel like volume 2 is when we're going to hit the actual
meat
them
of it.
getting into the lifestyle.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's what I think is going to happen at the moment. Is we're going to have struggled a little bit with Volume 1, but it will pay off in the later volumes.
Did you find any of the art in it sexy?
Depends what you mean.
I thought there were some like pretty sexy bits in it, to be honest.
Yeah. I didn't sit there being like, ooh, I'm gonna touch myself up while I read this one.
Yeah, but there was definitely some like moments.
It's a book about people having sex with multiple partners, Liam. Of course, some of it's sexy.
Yeah,
it's the same with Sunstone.
Yeah, like especially the scene when they're at the club. I really like the way that was drawn, and the way it was drawn with him kind of having the freak out, where it's a small little panel, and it's 3 hands, and you got 2 hands, and then the third one has like a little like is coloured red and has a question mark in it.
Yes,
and I just thought it was like a neat way of showing like his
what
perspective at that time.
Yeah. I mean, the Sajiks clearly have a talent for
sex.
This art. No,
sexy art.
The art. They're really good at telling their story through their art.
Yeah.
I know this isn't their story. It's Matt's story, but do you know what I mean? Like Matt has written this story, and then is it Linda?
Yeah.
Linda's able to like show it.
Yeah.
Through her art. It's also impressive because they have a very similar. Her and her husband have a very similar art style.
Yeah. One thing that I was a bit confused by. So it opens with this like into the lifestyle, right?
Yeah. Which
is written by and signed off by Adam and Lily.
Yeah.
Who the fuck are Adam and Lily?
I don't know.
Okay. Cool. I was just making sure that wasn't something I've missed.
No, I think it's probably just
know, like characters that might appear later, maybe.
Or it's either going to be characters that appear later, or just it's 2 anonymous people that have given them. Because he says at the end that they went to a swing class and spoke to people.
Yeah, true.
So it could just be Adam and Lily are 2 people they met who they were learning about it from.
Yeah. I was talking to Kat about this because I was reading it. And I said like, are
you and Kat going to go swinging?
Nah, she hates the idea of it.
Yeah.
I said, can I go without her?
I don't think you understand what swinging is.
That was also a big no.
Yeah.
I said like, cause I was talking about the colour party where it's like you got red, green, and yellow. So red is like you're not there for any sexy stuff. Yellow, you're there for up to oral, and then green, you're there for like anything pretty much. And I said, what if I just went yellow? And she was like, nah.
Yeah.
So
obviously, Cat's gonna say no.
I just thought it'd be interesting on future housekeeping to be like, oh, so you know how we spoke about swing? Gave it a go. Here's my thoughts, but apparently I'm not allowed to do that.
Right, well, you work on that. I'll work on getting into the BDSM community.
I mean, you've got no one telling you no, so that should be easy for you. Just join FetLife and you're away.
Thanks for the helpful advice, Liam.
That's right. Apparently, you're in near London as well. There is going to be a BDSM community in London.
Yeah.
Is it a bounce, what they call their meetings?
I can't remember.
I think it might be, you know. You go to a bounce.
Cool.
And get involved.
Yep, well, look for it on a future housekeeping, listeners.
Or a nerd on nerd try new things.
Don't know if they take to us videoing it and me inviting my friend along. Hey, I'm a newbie. This is my friend Liam. He'll be recording.
Yeah, he'll be filming everything. So, just need you to sign these agreements. That'd be brilliant. What would you give Swing out of 5?
I think it's a 3.5.
Okay, I'm a little bit lower than you. 2.5 for me.
Fair enough. Are you going to keep reading?
If you remind me when Volume 2 comes out, because I'll probably forget. I'm not like desperate to read more. Like I'm so excited to read the next part of Sunstone, which isn't even about the characters that I love.
No, but I just want more Sunstone in my
exactly.
life. And hopefully they'll be in it. I just want to see them.
Yeah,
because I love them so much.
With this, like I will read more, but I'm not like desperate to see what happens next.
No, that's fair. Sorry, this one's a bit short, listeners, but I have to go somewhere.
No, but I feel like we've discussed everything that we needed to discuss with it.
We have, but I feel like we could have gone into more detail and stuff. I don't know.
Next time,
we're going to be talking about the game everyone's talking about. That's right, it's Hubba Bubba 2.
I don't know what that is.
Neither do I. I think I maybe made it up. It's Spider-Man is what we're going to be doing.
Spider-Man. PlayStation 4 exclusive.
Yep, it's been getting rave reviews.
It
Do
has.
me and Liam love it as much as everyone else, or do we hate it with a passion?
Is there an appearance from Spider-Gwen? Will that affect our enjoyment?
It would.
Does the fact that there isn't an appearance from Spider-Gwen impact our enjoyment?
Yeah, I'm giving it like 1 star.
Yeah, needed more Spider-Gwen.
Yeah, not enough Spider-Gwen.
Is there Spider-Pig?
Oh, I hope so.
So yeah,
can only dream.
we're going to discuss Spider-Man.
If you've got thoughts about Spider-Man, let us know what they are.
Have you done swinging? Maybe you could tell
Yeah.
us, Amanda, what swinging's like if you've given that a go.
don't just accuse Amanda of swinging.
It's just because I know she's probably the only person that's going to listen this far.
If anyone is listening who has swung,
Yeah.
let us know and we'll do it anonymously because we're not arseholes. Maybe just
Unless-
direct message me on Twitter if you don't trust Liam,
Or,
understandably, because
or
he's kind of a dick.
You could email us. If you tweet us publicly, like not a
People will
DM.
see it. If you don't want people to see it, put full stop at Nerd on Nerd.
Yeah. No, if you
Don't
tweet
do
us
that. That's
publicly,
not- that's the
I'll
opposite.
assign it to you unless you specifically ask me not to. But why would you? It's public. If you DM or email and you're just like, by the way, keep my name out of this, that's no problem.
Well, I think the assumption if someone talks to us about swinging is probably that it's anonymous, unless they say I don't care about anonymity.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I don't think we've got any swingers listening to us.
Liam, if we do have swingers listening to us, or people that played Spider-Man, what a demographic we have.
Maybe they've done both.
Hey.
Although, swinging
I've
in
been,
Spider-Man
yeah, we're
isn't
both going
the
to go for the
same.
same joke there. Yeah,
It's
he
not
swings.
the same.
Everyone swings because you've got webs, and he swings on the webs. Very good.
Do you know what?
How would they message us?
Just before we get into that, you know, it's like Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. I
Yeah.
was thinking about that the other day, and that's bullshit.
Yeah, he can't climb up drain pipes inside them.
He doesn't dissolve people before eating them.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't kill his mate.
Well, he's male, so
he doesn't
wouldn't.
get
Spider-Gwen
killed by
would.
his mate.
Spider-Gwen would kill him.
Yeah. Well, Spider-Gwen's not his mate.
Him and Gwen Stacy had a thing,
Yeah, but in
and in
Spider-Gwen...
Spider-Gwen's universe, she did have a thing with him.
Yeah, but she didn't kill him.
No, but I'm saying she could have.
Yeah, okay, right.
Maybe that's the twist in Volume 2, is you find out she webbed him up and dissolved his insides.
I'm
and then
surprised
sucked him
you
out.
haven't read more Spider-Gwen.
Because you're not. I'm not going to talk about it on here.
No, you can do it in housekeeping, and I'll just be
I
quiet.
don't want to. I do want to read more.
Yeah.
Yeah. How can
Get
people
in
get in contact
touch,
with us?
tweet
Liam?
us at nerdonnerd, email us nerdonnerdpod@gmail.com, Facebook us, facebook.com/nerdonnerdpod,
All one word.
all one
Yep.
word. YouTube, yeah, that's happening. You can find us if you just search Nerd on Nerd, probably show up. iTunes, you could rate us, just a good one, don't bother. If it's going to be a negative rating, it's a lot of effort for you to go ahead and do it, it's not worth it. You give us a cheeky little review, we'll read that out probably. If anything, what you could do, rate us 5 stars, but if you don't really like us, leave a scathing review and we'll read that out and criticise you.
Yeah, that's true.
That's about it, isn't it?
Think so. Oh, follow us on YouTube.
Yeah.
We have a solution to the fact that all the YouTube vids and the way we talk involve my old name, which is not the best thing for me, but we have a solution. So
we have a
that'll happen at some
solution.
point.
We haven't actually implemented it yet, but
No,
we know
well,
how to fix
It
it.
requires me coming to see you, so
Or me coming to see you, but you're not
or you come to see me.
organising.
I'm sorting it out.
I've heard that before. 1075. Bye.
Fuck, I forgot. Bye.